are live on Facebook. So, let's see, meeting streaming live. Start my video. Here we are, live on Facebook and live on Zoom and live on YouTube. So tonight we have something very special, but first we're going to chant Jai Radha Madhava real quickly, and then we'll have a special presentation for everybody. All right, gang. This is going to be a little bit of an intellectual presentation tonight. So put your seatbelts on and tie them around your brains so you'll be able to understand this. But it'll be inspiring even if you don't understand the presentation tonight. Anyway, first we're going to chant. You'll understand Jai Radha Madhava, I assure you. Jai Radha Madhava, Jai Kunja Vihari, Radha Madhava, Kunja Vihari, Gopijana Malaba, Jaya Giri Varurari, Jaya Giri Varurari. Nandana, Vajrajana Ranjana, Yasoda Nandana, Vajrajana Ranjana, Yamuna Tira Manachari Rayo, Kunja Vihari, Kunja Vihari. Manachari Raya Kunja Vihari Raya Kunja Vihari Radha Madhava Jai Kunja Vihari Jai Radha Madhava Jai Kunja Malaba Jaya Giri Varurari, Giri Varurari, Gopichana Malaba Jaya Giri Varurari, Giri Varurari, Yasoda Nandana, Jana Ranjana, Yasoda Nandana, Jana Ranjana, Yamuna Tira Manachari Dayo, Kunja Vihari, Kunja Vihari, Yamuna Tira Manachari Kunja Vihari, Jai Kunja Vihari, Radha Madhava, Kunja Vihari, Radha Paramahamsa Paracharya Vasudhara Satashi Shimad. His Divine Grace of Ayacharanada Bhaktivedanta Goswami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Anandakoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai, Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shri Vasudhi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Gopinath Sham Kund Radhakunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai, Vrindavanam Ki Jai, Mathuram Ki Jai, Jagadata Swami Ki Jai, Yamunamai Ki Jai, Srimati Lasi Devi Ki Jai, Sama Veda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Gaur Premananda Hari Hari Gaur. All glory is the assembled devotees, all glory is the assembled devotees, all glory is the assembled devotees, all glory is to Shri Guru and Gauranga Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Gaur Premananda. So, Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharni Nirvashesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Tejatarni. So Om Ganat Timidanda Shah Gananjana Shalakya Chakshun and Medikam Yena Tazmai Shikaravinam. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of my spiritual master, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, who so kindly opened my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge while I was blinded in the darkness of ignorance. So as I mentioned in the beginning, we're going to show you something in this presentation that will blow your mind. Of course, that is a hippie expression. So what I mean is, let me preface this by saying that the Acharyas in the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya are the most intelligent persons on this earth planet. Of course, you have Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who there's no question about him being the most intelligent person. He's Bhagawan, full of all six opulences, Supreme Personality of Godhead. So I'm going to show you a presentation that I am not going to do because I am not one of the most intelligent people on this planet, that will prove the show to you the level of erudition of our acharyas, specifically that of Srila. So what I'm going to do is show you a presentation that was done by our Sanskrit school, not here in North Carolina, but our Sanskrit school displaying some of the properties of the poetry of Srila Rupa Goswami and how he arranges his poetry in very specific ways that will simply shock you, amaze you, impress you. Of course, Srila Rupa Goswami is an eternal associate of the Lord. He is Rupa Manjari in the spiritual world. He and his brother Sanatan Goswami were enlisted by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to write Vaishnava literatures, Nana Shastra, Vichara, and Aikanikonosa Dharma, Samstapako, to establish eternal religious principles. And of course, their nephew, Srila Jiva Goswami, is ascertained as the most intelligent theologian of all time. But anyway, without further ado, because this is about a 40-minute presentation, I am going to show you a video, but it's not of dancing, it's of Sanskrit, that will so much impress you that your faith will be increased 1,000-fold if you can just concentrate it. This is going to require some concentration. It cannot be done while you're sleeping, eating prasadam, driving a car. What else do you do while I'm giving class? I mean, we're standing on your head, doing Kundalini yoga. Cannot be done at the same time. You have to concentrate on this. So we're going to share the screen, and this should be a very easy video to understand what's happening, but maybe not to pick up on all the philosophical points or practical points. But it's mainly meant to show you, to impress you with the level of erudition of our Acharya, specifically Srila Rupa Goswami, who is our main Acharya coming from Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Therefore, we are known as Rupanugas. So this is a very, very special presentation. And anyway, without further ado, we will share this. And I'll try to turn the sound on it all the way up so you'll be able to hear. It's called Chicha Kavitshani or something like that. So this is a presentation that was put on a number of years ago by the Sanskrit School of the Bhaktivedanta Book Trust. And afterwards we'll take some questions if we have any time. So here we go. Good for the Sunday program. Chicha Kavitshani.
Dushkarani kavitvani yah karoti mahabalaha Sri Rupa Kavibhuto me Sadeyad Buddhi Sampadam. May Sri Rupa, the mighty king of poets, who composes poetical verses that are extremely difficult to compose, grant me the wealth of intelligence needed to understand them.
So this is the Chitra Kavitvani found in Rupa Goswami's Stavamala. So we're going to be looking at 12 verses today. Now this word Chitra has two meanings. Either it can mean like adbhut, very amazing, or it can mean like a picture. So the first 4 verses are going to be very amazing, and we'll see why in a minute. And the last 8 verses are going to be picture verses. So Stavamala was a work composed by Rupa Goswami. Actually, it wasn't written all at one time. He didn't sit down and write it at a stretch. It was different stavas that he composed, sometimes while walking through the forest of Vrindavan, sometimes really sitting down and carefully constructing them like these ones. And it was actually Jiva Goswami who later compiled all of those prayers into this book, Stavamala. So it's a garland of stavas. Now stava is generally translated as a prayer, but it's a special kind of a prayer actually. In Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu in the Eastern Ocean, Jiva Goswami comments, what's the difference between a stava and a stotra? He says there that a stotra, both of these words, stava and stotra, come from the Sanskrit dhatu stu, which means to praise. But what's the difference? A stotra is a prayer composed by previous acharyas that one recites for the pleasure of the Lord. Whereas a stava is one's own personal outpouring of one's heart to the Lord. It's one's personal offering. So these are Rupa Goswami's personal outpourings, his garland of stavas. So in this, in making this presentation, in translating these verses, we followed Baladev Vidyabhushana's Sanskrit commentary, which is called Stavamala Bhushana, named after Baladev Vidyabhushana. So this was actually the last work written by Baladev Vidyabhushana, this commentary on Stavamala. And we see here, we're used to his more philosophical side, but we see here his wonderful poetic side at the same time. So let's begin. So the first verse is amazing because he's going to use words which only have the consonants ra and sa. So let's have a look.
Rasasa rasusaror asurarih sasarasaha samsara sirasorase surirang susasarasaha.
So here, Rupa Goswami desires to describe a particular topic, which is the rasa dance. Actually. So because the word rasa has the consonants ra and sa in it, so all the other words he's going to choose to describe the rasa dance with are also going to have only the consonants ra and sa. We can't actually do this in English. These are what we would call transcendental tongue twisters. Like we learned some mundane ones when we were kids. She sells seashells by the seashore or something like that. Something which is difficult to pronounce fast. So similarly, these verses can be quite difficult to read and very difficult to compose. So this is about the rasa dance. And we see many other words that we're familiar with: rasa, asura, samsara, etc. Sarasa, a lotus flower, all composed of the consonants ra and sa. But somebody may ask at this point, what about that H with a dot underneath it? And what about that M with a dot on top? Don't they look like consonants? Well, actually, in the Sanskrit alphabet, those two letters, the M and the H with the dots, they're listed in between the vowels and the consonants, and they're considered neutral. They could be considered vowels or consonants. So for the purpose of these verses, they're considered vowels. So there really is only two consonants here. So not only is it a transcendental tongue twister, but you can see which kind of meaning he's managed to bring out in such constricting circumstances.
Filled with transcendental amorous desire, the son of Nanda, who showers forth nectar, whose thighs are strong, who is the enemy of the demons, and who is the sword that cuts down the cycle of repeated birth and death, entered the rasa dance, holding a lotus flower.
Okay, so here's the second verse. In this verse, we're going to see the consonants cha and ra. Only they will be used.
Charchoru rochiruchora ruchiroram charachare choracharochirachiram ruchacharurachuchurat.
Okay, so the key word here, just like in the last verse the key word was rasa, the key word here is chora, Krishna's afif. So we'll see how the translation goes.
Acting like a thief, the broad-chested son of Nanda, the most handsome person in the world, quickly stole the gopis' garments. He was attractive because of his splendor, and his beauty was enhanced by the sandal paste adorning him.
Okay, this is a two-consonant verse again, with the consonants dha and ra.
Dhare dhara dhara dharam dhara dhara dhurarudhi dhira dhira radhadhi rodham radha dhuram dharam.
Okay, so the key word here is the second word, dhara dhara dharam, which is a synonym of basically giridhari. The phrase here, the key word is giridhari. So what's interesting is there is a really neat play on words that Rupa Goswami is using here. In Sanskrit we have one verbal root, dhri, which means to hold or to maintain. So we have, if you look at the second word, in the word for word, we have Dhara, which is the name of the earth. And she's called Dhara from the Dhatu tree because she maintains all the living entities on her surface. And then you have mountains, and they're called Dharadharas because they nourish or support the earth in various ways. For example, they create precipitation which creates rainfall, or they shelter the valleys from the winds and so on. In various ways they maintain or support the earth. And then Krishna, he's called Dharadharadharam because he's holding the mountain, Giriraj. So in effect, he's the holder of the holder of the holder. Because, as you can see. And then we have this next word, dhara and dhara. Again from the same Dhatu 3, to hold. So this first word, dhara, means a shower, a heavy rainfall. And dhara means something which holds that or contains that. So clouds are called dharas because they contain a heavy shower in them. So Govardhan is described here as the hill that was blocking this heavy, forceful attacks of the clouds. The clouds were sending rain, hail, thunderbolts, and so on. Actually, in this regard, there's a very interesting explanation that Baladev Vijayabhushana gives of the name Govardhana. Because also in this Stavamala, Rupa Goswami wrote a Govardhana Ashtakam in this Stavamala, and there he prays to Govardhan that, "Oh Govardhan, you have earned your name." And Baladev Vijayabhushana explains that phrase, and he gives a very interesting alternate explanation of Govardhan. He quotes the dictionary, which gives 10 different meanings of the word go. And one of those meanings is actually a thunderbolt. Less common meaning, but nonetheless a valid meaning. So, go can mean a thunderbolt. Usually we understand vardhana to come from the verbal root vrid, which means to nourish or to expand. And usually we understand that Govardhan Hill gives nourishment to the cows, expands the number of the cows, etc. But instead of making it from vrid, if you make it from vard, which means to smash, then Govardhan becomes a name that means, "Oh, you who smash the thunderbolt." Because in poetry, the thunderbolt and the mountain are eternal enemies. The thunderbolt clips off the wings of the mountains and they fall to the ground and they become stuck as mountains. So Govardhan is that hill. This is why he's Giri Raja, one of the reasons. He's the king of the hills because he's that hill who on behalf of all the other hills has taken revenge against their eternal enemy, the thunderbolt, and he smashed the thunderbolt. When the thunderbolt was hitting Giriraj, it wasn't Giriraj that was feeling the pain, it was the thunderbolt that was feeling the pain. So hear the translation.
Beneath Govardhan Hill, which was blocking the forceful attack of the devastating clouds, steady-minded Radha worshipped the Supreme Lord, who held up the hill and removed the anguish of his devotees.
Okay, now this one's really chitra. This is really amazing. He's done a verse using only one consonant, the consonant na. This is a real tongue twister.
Ninun na no nanang no nang na no no na na no no nihi na ne na nang ninun ne nang na nang na 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 no na no.
So the key phrase here is the last word, the word nanu. And whenever we see this word in Sanskrit, it means that there's a argument going on, there's a debate going on. Nanu indicates what we call a purva paksha, the opposition's opinion. So at this phrase, at this stage, somebody is stepping in and saying, "Why are you offering so much praise to Krishna, who's just a small cowherd boy?" So the word nanu, as you can see in the word for word, is a rebuttal. "O you objector, O you disputant, hear what we have to say."
And this is what we have to say. This is what Rupa Goswami has to say. Did not the many-headed Lord Brahma, who impels the various demigods, offer prayers with tears streaming down his face, trying to pacify Lord Krishna, the killer of Shakatasura.
Okay, so as you mentioned, the first 4 verses were chitra, meaning that they're amazing. He only used 2 consonants or even 1 consonant to compose the verse. Now we're resorting to the other meaning of the word chitra, which means picture. So our first picture verse is the Chakrabandha, the wheel formation.
Gandha Krishna Gurun Madalini Vane Hara Prabhati Plutam Sampushnantem Upaskrita Dhvaniyami Vichi Sriyoranjakam Sadyastungita Vibhramang Sunibhrite Shitani Laisokhyade Devang Nagabhujang Sadara Samayang Tam Naumi Kanchin Mude.
So this is what the verse looks like in Devanagari. It's the form of a chariot wheel. So we'll show you how to read this verse in the picture. So here it comes.
Gandha Krishna Gurun Madalini Vane Hara Prabhati Plutam Sampushnantem Upaskrita Dhvaniyami Vichi Sriyoranjakam Sadyastungita Vibhramang Sunibhrite Shitani Laisokhyade Devang Nagabhujang Sadara Samayang Tam Naumi Kanchin Mude.
Okay, so it's a little difficult when composing these verses because certain syllables have to be shared. Like for example, you see that ni in the circle right in the middle, that has to be used 3 times. And whatever's at the end of a spoke, like these syllables, ga, sa, tam, kam, they have to be used twice also. So when composing these verses, not only do we have to fit things in the meter. If you've tried to compose a Sanskrit verse before, sometimes we're asked to compose pranam verses for new sannyasis, or it's very difficult actually to compose a verse because you have a meter you have to fit into, and that's a pattern of short and long syllables. For example, in the Brahma Samhita meter, you have to fit in the pattern which is a certain pattern of short syllables and long syllables. Like in Krishna's name, Ajita, it's 3 short syllables, but in Radha, it's 2 long syllables. So you have to fit into like a Morse code pattern. You have to choose words which fit into that arrangement. It's really difficult to do. And then to, on top of that, make everything fit into a picture, this set picture format. And then on top of that, to make it have any kind of meaning, it's an accomplishment. And then to see such a kind of meaning as this, it's beyond material intelligence. Rupa Goswami is an absolute genius.
In a secluded forest, which attracts swarms of maddened bees with its fragrance, which contains many decorated paths, and which gives pleasure with its cool breezes, I always glorify a certain Lord in order to attain spiritual bliss. That rasa-laden Lord, the maintainer of his devotees, is flooded with the splendor of many necklaces. His arms are like snakes. He immediately increases the agitation within the heart. And he tinges the luster of the Yamuna's waves with the luster of his nails, lips, yellow cloth, necklaces, bracelets, and crowns.
Okay, that's not all. With this verse there was another amazing feature that's hidden inside. So an extra speciality of this verse is that Rupa Goswami has ingeniously placed a hidden signature inside the spokes of the wheel. The signature is not apparent in the verse. It becomes visible only when the verse is drawn in the wheel formation. So if we look at the inner spokes of the wheel, we see this phrase, Krishna Stuti Rasao Rupa Virachita, which means this prayer to Krishna was composed by Rupa. Actually, this was not in Baladev's commentary. We just happened to chance upon it when we were drawing up the verse. We just happened to see, I wonder if there's anything in the inner spokes of this wheel, because it's not a standard feature of this verse. And I almost fell off my seat when I saw this hidden signature of Rupa Goswami, and I thought, that's amazing. And you can't actually see it. When you look at the 4-line verse, you can't see this signature at all. You can't figure out how it's there. But when you draw it here, it becomes apparent. Okay.
Rase saranga sangha chitanavanalina praya pakshastadama Barhalankarahara Spuradamalamaharaga chitre jayaya Gopalo dasavithi Lalitahitaravaspharahasa stiratma Navyojasrankshanopa vitalabalo Viksharangam babhase.
Okay, so this is the snake formation here. We're going to start with the snake's head, and we're going to come out through his tail.
Rase saranga sangha chitanavanalina praya pakshastadama.
Okay, you may have noticed there that we did a little loop here around the snake's curly tail. Nalina. So we shared this syllable twice. And there's going to be some other shared syllables. Actually, one amazing thing about this verse, the particular meter that this verse is composed in is called Shraddhara, which means wearing a garland. Rupa Goswami he's very playful when he's composing these verses. So he chose the first line of this verse to describe Krishna, who is wearing a garland. So the contents of the verse match the name of this verse's meter, Shraddhara. So you can see in this first line, whose garland is wearing a garland of lotuses on his chest, surrounded by a swarm of bees. So far we've gotten up to here, and let's see how the second line goes.
Barhalankarahara Spuradamalamahara chitre jayaya.
Okay, and the third line?
Gopalo dasavithi Lalitahitaravaspharahasa stiratma.
And then the fourth line?
Navyojasrankshanopa vitalabalo Viksharangam babhase.
So, this is very difficult to make this verse work. Basically, whenever you see these squares, the corner ones, like these, have to be shared. And the snake's tail is shared. Se is the last syllable of the verse, and it's the second syllable, ra, se, saranga, sara. So, very difficult to fit the meter, to fit this picture, and to keep in mind all of these syllables that have to be used 2 or 3 times each in different places. So let's see the meaning, the most astounding meaning.
To increase his glory, Lord Gopala, who is adorned with peacock feathers, ornaments, necklaces, and splendid, spotless, multicolored tilak, shone brilliantly when he saw the rasa dance arena. His chest was decorated with a fresh lotus garland, attracting many bees, and he was smiling broadly in response to the auspicious, pleasing sounds made by his devotees. Steady at heart and eternally young, he expanded himself into many forms during the dancing.
Kalavakya sadaloka, kalodara milavaka, kavaladyadbhutanuka, kanuta bhirabalaka.
Okay, so in this lotus, we're going to start in the middle, from the stem of the lotus, and we're going to go out like this, and come back in like this. And again we'll go out, and come back into the middle. So there'll be a lot of, again, shared syllables. We'll be using these syllables coming in, da, lo, ka, and then we'll use them going out, but in the reverse order, ka, lo, da.
In reverse.
Yeah. So you have to have the same things, words which mean one thing one way and another thing another way. Really difficult. That's why this genre of poetry, another name for it, one name is Chitra Kavitwani, it's amazing, or it's an amazing picture. Another name, the original name found in the Agni Purana, is Dushkara, which literally means difficult to compose.
Kalavakya sadaloka, kalodara milavaka, kavaladyadbhutanuka, kanuta bhirabalaka.
O Lord, who speaks sweetly. O Lord, seen by the saintly devotees. O Supreme Artist. O Protector. O you who appeared wonderful carrying a morsel of food. O Lord followed by Shiva. O Lord prayed to by Brahma. O cowherd boy, please appear before me.
Okay, this is a special kind of kavya called Viloma Kavya, which reads the same forwards and backwards. This is one verse which is going to have the same meaning and the same pronunciation whether we read it forwards or backwards. And there's even some books in Sanskrit that are whole books written that you can read forward and you can read them backwards. When you read forward, it's a whole Ram Lila pastime from beginning to end, and when you read it backwards, it's Krishna Lila. That really shows that Kali Yuga intelligence is degrading, because it's just not even possible to do these things anymore.
Taji saradharadhara tibhaya tamadariha Haridamataya bhati radha radha rasayita.
Okay, so in verses, things are usually broken up into syllables, which means a consonant along with the vowel. So the consonant ta along with the vowel a is the syllable ta. So that's the first syllable. Similarly, the second syllable is yi, third syllable is sa. So we're going to see now how we're going to reverse the order, but in terms of syllables. So just like ta is the first syllable, ta is also the last syllable. Just like yi is the second syllable, yi is also the second last syllable. Sa, third, It's our third last. So what we're going to do now, we're going to show you how this verse can be, we can get the same verse by reading it backwards.
Taji saradharadhara tibhaya tamadariha haridamataya bhati radharadharasayita.
The presiding deity of the rasa dance with the gopis appears splendid, being adorned with a charming garland. His beauty is enhanced by his holding of Govardhan hill, which is increasing in size due to the great ecstasy it feels from his touch. That handsome deity, the killer of his arrogant enemies, relished a sweet rasa from Radha's worship.
So this is an unusual picture. This is a cow urine picture. Okay, so as we know, there's a lot of analogies in nature. So when we want to say zigzagging, one of the images that comes to mind is how the bull passes urine. It comes out in a zigzag fashion. So we're going to see here how we'll read the verse in a similar zigzag fashion. So this is our zigzag verse.
Samallarange rameshta pullasara mudedhita shramanira tushta balladira sadevata.
Okay, so this verse, this is an elaboration on the Srimad Bhagavatam verse Malanam Ashinir, the verse that describes how when Krishna walked into the wrestling arena, different people perceived him in different ways. This particular verse is an elaboration on the phrase Strinam Smaro Murtiman, that for the women he was perceived as Cupid personified. Okay, so the first line of this verse will be read in this zigzag fashion, and the second line like this. So as Prashanta Mataji sings it, we'll point the way.
Samallarange rameshta pullasara mudedhita shramanira tushta balladira sadevata.
So all of these ones in the middle, in the diamonds, they're all shared syllables. They're used twice, so again it's difficult to compose that. So let's hear the meaning.
In the wrestling arena, the presiding deity of the rasa dance with all the gopis became satisfied. He was desired by all the women there. His strength had blossomed, he was elated, and he was perspiring due to fatigue.
Okay, so this is the drum formation. It's Muraja is the name of this drum. It's not like the Bengali ko. You'll see that the straps are arranged in a different fashion. This is like what we'd call in North India the pakawaj, or South India the mridanga. In South India the mridanga has a wooden body and it has two sides that are about equal size. And you may have seen that they play it on the right side. They have one special hit that they do, which makes a ding noise. So this is that drum that they use in classical music performances.
Shubhasara sasara sri prabhasan ramasarabham bharasa mahasa vitta tarasa rasasavitam.
Okay, so this verse could either be quite straightforward if we read it, like the 4 lines can be read like this, or we can get the same 4 lines by reading them like this. We can get the first line like this. So either we can get it by going straight across or like this. We can get the second line like that, third like that, and fourth like that. So again, when composing this verse, you have to make it fit in 2 ways. We'll show it. This is the first line. Prabhasandra Masarava, like that. Second line. Third line. Bharasa Mahasavita. And fourth line. Tarasa Rasasavidam.
His bodily luster, like that of a splendid sapphire. The presiding deity of the rasa dance with the gopis, the destroyer of the burden of the earth, from whom comes opulence, fitness, and a shower of auspiciousness, quickly and gloriously produced an abundance of rasa.
So we saw before one that reads the same forwards and backwards. Now this one's going to read the same forwards and backwards and up and down as well. That's why it's called Savato Bhadra. It's good on every side. It's also called the magic box, for a reason you'll see in a minute.
Rasavaha vasara salala sasalalasa balarama maralava hasama dadamasaha.
So this is the magic box. You can read the first line either across or back this way, or down or up, or across here, back here, up here, down here. You can basically get it in 8 different ways. For example, the first line, if I just read it across, is Rasavaha Havasara. And I can get the same thing by doing it backwards. Rasavaha Havasara, down. Rasavaha Havasara, or up. Rasavaha Havasara, Rasavaha Havasara, Rasavaha Havasara, Rasavaha Havasara, Rasavaha Havasara, Rasavaha Havasara, Rasavaha. You can keep going if you like. That's it. And similarly, the second line, we can start in the conventional forwards order. Salalasa salalasa, 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 salalasa salalasa. So you can, this one's really almost impossible to make, and the meaning is, again, very wonderful. Oh, yes. Actually, we're going to see, we can take a subsection of this and read it in another way also. If we read it like this, see, we can read it forwards and backwards. Basically what it is that the half of the line, Rasavaha, is reversed, Havasara. Similarly, Salalasa, when reversed, becomes Salalasa. So in every line, even the half of a line is a reverse of the other half. So you can also read it like this. Rasavaha Havasara, Rasavaha Havasara.
This is in the sections.
Yeah. So it's a magic box within a magic box.
Yeah, it's Chitra. after this presentation, we're all going to be asked to write these. Tomorrow. The meaning. That handsome deity, the initiator of the rasa dance, who gains strength from the coquettish gesture of women, sported wonderfully. Filled with amorous desire and taking pleasure in his own strength, he wouldn't tolerate being subdued by anyone else because he was intoxicated with the pride of youth, and his smiles and laughter defeated Cupid.
So we did a small lotus formation before. Now we're going to do a big one.
Tara prasparatalang sarabhasarasalang bhasurasyang subhalang papagnang gopapalang karnarakalang nilabhridvaranilam charugrivam ruchalang ratamadhataralang chetasapitachelang shita praspita silang varaya varabalang vasudevam subalang.
This looks scary. But we have a friendly ball to guide the way. So, yes, the first line goes like this. Tara praspada talam sarabasa rasalam vasurasyam subhalam papagnam gopapalam karanakaram nirabrid varanilam charu grivam uchalam ratamadhataralam cetasa pitachelam shita praspita silam varaya varabalam vasudevam subhalam.
Tara prasparatalang sarabhasarasalang bhasurasyang subhalang papagnang gopapalang karnarakalang nilabhridvaranilam charugrivam ruchalang ratamadhataralang chetasapitachelang shita praspita silang varaya varabalang vasudevam subalang.
With all your heart, please accept that beautiful boy, the son of Vasudeva, who is the joyful giver of rasa. His loud rhythmic clapping is characterized by its clarity. His sweet songs steal the mind of the hearer. His face is radiant like the moon. His neck and forehead are extremely charming. And he is trembling due to the intoxication of conjugal bliss. Dark like a host of monsoon clouds and wearing yellow garments, he beautifies those around him with his effulgence. His cooling virtues remove the suffering of material existence. Possessed of great strength, he is the destroyer of sins and the protector of the cowherd men.
So, okay, that was the presentation, and I hope you all enjoyed that. And obviously, I don't think anyone here can compose poetry like that. I certainly can't. And one of the purposes of showing it to you was to impress you, but not impress you with myself, but impress you with the erudition of our acharyas. So you can see that they are far and far beyond anything you've ever experienced in this world. These beautiful verses composed by Srila Rupa Goswami with precise meter, beautiful poetry, and in elaborate arrangements are impossible for any mortal soul to compose. These devotees were directly, or are directly, getting information from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. So, with that happy note, we'll take a question or two. Hold on a second, I have to unmute everybody. Unless everybody is speechless after hearing all these different examples of Srila Rupa Goswami's poetry. These are just small examples. He has a lot more poetry than that. So, you are all unmuted, so who wants to ask a question or make a point? I guess everybody's shocked. Yes, Gopal just said he's shocked. He just fainted after seeing that, which is good. Keeps him out of trouble. And, whoops, okay, I'm on there twice. I'm not going to make a comment because I was just observing from another device what was happening. So Sudharma says, simply amazing. Thank you for sharing, Gurudev. I just thought everyone would appreciate it on this Sunday. No one wants to say anything or ask anything? Amazing.
I wonder if you can share that video. Said my basis, Maharaj, or glories to Srila Prabhupada. I'm good at Hare.
Yeah, Gaurari. Yeah, I could share the video with whoever wants to watch it. It's quite a large video. I'd have to put it up on the cloud for other people to share. But it's something to show people, to show the level of erudition and sophistication, intelligence, and transcendental nature of our acharyas. Because no one has ever seen anything like that in this world. I mean, that's a fact. I mean, you look at any poetry, at least all the poets that I know in the Western world, and I've read a lot of poets in the Western world, nobody comes within 1 billion miles of Srila Rupa Goswami as far
Hare
as
Krishna, Gurudev.
abilities are concerned. Rishikesh, yeah.
Gurudev, I just wanted to understand. I mean, this is such a wonderful poetry of Srila Rupa Goswami.
Yeah.
I feel, how do I really pay this debt? I mean, how do I really reciprocate with such a gift? What's the best way to please him?
Best way, well, without being humorous and telling you should go to Vaikuntha. But anyways, that's an inside joke with Rishikesh. The best way is to bring people to Krishna consciousness. Somehow or other preach, distribute books, cultivate people. I mean, that's the way to please the acharyas, and that's the way to please Krishna, according to the Gita. I mean, we have a wealth, and I mean, I can't even describe the wealth that we are heir to, and we need to expose other people to this vast erudition. So that's how you can reciprocate. Dedicate your life to bringing people to the absolute truth. And these devotees, like Srila Rupa Goswami, I mean, they're not ordinary devotees, but they're directly getting intelligence from Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay, that's a good question.
Thank
Anybody
you,
else before we end for the evening, Sunday? Yeah. Yes, Praneshra.
Yeah, my question is like in the poetry I listen about the 10 names of Go, like Govardhan. So as I know the 3 names like
I can't really
Go,
understand.
the Govardhan is the initial letter is like Go.
Yeah.
Go means senses and the Go means like Go. But in the
Cow
poetic they have said
means
about the 10
cow,
names.
means senses. I'm not a Sanskrit expert, but Govardhan increases the glories of the cows or the glories like that. And pleases the senses, like Govinda, Gopal. I mean, your Sanskrit questions will have to be answered by a Sanskrit expert, not by me. All right?
Yes, Susan.
Don't ask me complicated Sanskrit questions because I am not a Sanskrit scholar. I only know Krishna's God, Lord Chaitanya is God, Prabhupada is his representative. That's all I know. My spiritual master chastised me and he said, "You just chant Hare Krishna and you will achieve perfection." And I started chanting Hare Krishna, I'm feeling ecstasy. And I went back to Prabhupada and said, "Why am I feeling ecstasy?" And Prabhupada said, "I'm very pleased that you've achieved perfection." Anyway. so all I know is Krishna's there, Radharani's there, Goloka Vrindavan is there, and Govardhan is there. I'm not pretending to be a Sanskrit scholar. Oh, Rishikesh is in the temple. Well, that's nice. He's showing the deities. We can put him. Let me spotlight the deities for you. Oops, there we are. That's Radhagalokananda. All I know is that Radhagalokananda there. Besides that, I don't know anything else. Okay, so who else? Who else has a question? If not, we're going to end. And I guess tomorrow night I could post a link so you could download this video if you're interested in seeing it. So sign on tomorrow night, and I will put a link in the chat window so you can show this video to others. Okay, on that
Gurudev,
note,
can I ask
yes.
one? So this is from the Stavamala. Is the entire Stavamala available from the Sanskrit school like this?
Not like that, not in the same sort of analysis. The entire Stavamala is available in translation and verses, yes. Not
But
in
the
the same manner.
analysis,
They just did an excerpt from the Stavamala.
did they do any other excerpts besides that 12 verses?
I don't know. But these are specific verses of the Stavamala that have a specific form. Not all the verses have these sorts of forms.
Thank you.
Okay, on that happy note, we'll happy Sunday, and we have. Oh yeah, I don't know if Ryan Prabhu was on because he wanted to make an announcement about our Sankirtan Christmas marathon. Are you there, Aditya? No, I guess not. So this next Friday in the United States is Gita Jayanti. And for those of you who are members of our congregation, Aditya Narayan Prabhu will get in touch with you to share with you and request some help in distributing Prabhupada's book called Gita Jayanti, especially the Bhagavad Gita. Gita Jayanti this year is on Christmas Day. So it's the best Christmas gift to give anyone. And if you're interested, contact Aditya Narayan and he will tell you how Christmas gifts to the whole universe. Okay, on that happy note, all glories to His divine grace, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Oh, Fiji, you did 880 books on Sunday. Amazing. And we're doing all of our books through the internet and through other means because with devotees obviously can't go to